Hi everybody, it's Sam and Phil from Ashdown Jones. Sorry, it just kept saying trying to connect, so we weren't sure if it was actually live, but fingers crossed we are actually live now. I was going to have to do this all over again. Why are you so tall today? Yeah, I think we should maybe do this sitting down from now on actually, because I'm like probably at the bottom of the screen, you're on the top of the screen.
I think I'm average height.
No, I don't think. Well, what am I then?
Small.
It's good to be small. Some of the best houses are small. We're here in Windermere and it is absolutely throwing it down today. So wherever you are, I hope you're dry, or I hope you've got your brolly and I hope you don't have to go out much. I hope you survived the floods of the last few days. I was in Scotland where it was actually snowing. But anyway, we're here to talk to you today about brochures. And one of our favourite kinds of brochures to show at Ashdown Jones is these lovely square ones. For those technically minded, these are 210mm square. And they're in nice size. We did try and go to a bigger size, but then it doesn't fit in envelopes or in people's letterboxes.
No.
I don't know how long people's letterboxes are, but they're probably about 210. So that causes a bit of a problem with people having to collect things from post offices and stuff like that. So we're trying to keep to this, but obviously that gives us another issue, which is how much space there is in the brochure. So these are some of the brochures we've already produced for people, which we're very proud of. So just tell us a little bit about this one, Phil.
This is South Barn. This is in A-side, which is near Grange. This is one of the first ones we actually took on all the way back in May probably.
Yeah.
So we took this over from a DIY agent. It'd been on with the agent for about, what was it? A couple of months?
4 months, I think.
4 months.
I think it'd been
like
4 months.
And it had no interest at all.
Not a single viewing.
So we took over and sold it. We had 2 viewings in the first week and sold it in that first week.
Well done. So that was really good, yeah. So that brochure worked. And then that takes us on to the lovely barn. So this was a bit of a different style, this. We borrowed the style from a brochure we'd seen, which was not for a property, but this kind of diagonal style we felt suited the quirkiness of the house and show its sort of modern lines. So that I love the photography in that. It's a beautiful property, isn't it? So tell us about that one.
Yeah, so again we took this off an online agent.
Is it in Windermere, this one?
Yeah, it's at Lickbower Close, which is
that way.
That way. So again, it'd been on the market for a couple of years this time. They'd had a little bit of interest, but no offers. So we took it over, and I can't remember when we took it over. Time goes too
August,
fast. Probably
September?
a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
It hasn't been long. And again, we've just sold this.
How many viewings did you have on that one?
Probably about 6.
Yeah, sometimes it's not about the number of viewings, is it? But actually, it is a good indicator, isn't it? If you get lots of people through the door, it's a good indicator that you are going to get a decent price for the house. That's a nice layout. Just show them that layout in the middle. No, that's really beautiful, that one there, yeah. Really gorgeous with lovely sort of inside-outside pictures, which you really do need to have a professional photographer on that to make that work, because if you try taking that with a phone, for example, you'll see straight away that something has to be black. It's either outside the window or inside the window. And then that brings us on to this one, the lovely Fawn's Leap.
Fawn's Leap.
Yeah. Can you just tell me about the logo for Fawn's Leap as well? Because we haven't really talked about logos.
I think we've done a Facebook Live on this, but so each property has its own individual branding. So the owners choose it. We send a couple of ideas over to them. They tell us which one they like and if they want it changing or... so that's Fawn's Leap with the fawn leaping.
With actually a fawn leaping. Let's see if I can show you there, just like that there. So you can actually see it is actually a fawn leaping. So sometimes it lends itself...
It was ages to come up with.
Sometimes the house name lends itself to a certain branding, and that's great. Sometimes we have to work a little bit harder. So like the barn was fairly straightforward, but still nice, sort of simple branding. We chose this pink because the pink was prevalent in the house. And with South Barn, we've got this lovely sort of... you took this off a nameplate, didn't you? The sign for the house. So we used that as the kind of starting point and then developed a lovely brand. But what do you think is the benefit of having a brand for each property?
It just gives it the individuality of each property, and it's a little bit of an ego boost for both the buyer and the seller.
Yeah. So, in a nice way.
Yeah.
Because it makes the sellers feel special because we've branded their home, and it makes the buyers feel special that they're buying a branded home. So Both of those are really important. So how long had that one been on the market? Because actually the people who live here built that house, didn't they, themselves?
They did, 35 years ago. They
Wow.
didn't build it themselves, they bought it as it was being built.
As it was being built, right,
Yeah.
so they customised it.
Yes. It'd been on the market for 4 years, so we took it on in August and sold it last week.
Yay! That was great. And it had a lot of interest actually, didn't it, in the end?
Well, it's a great plot and a great position and a great house, and yeah, it just needed the right buyer.
Yeah. And we've got lots of sort of external photographs in there showing the position of it. Can I just show that there? So going back to sort of the layout for the brochures, we try and use all the space we've got, but sometimes that's not enough. Now, we were asked to market this beautiful property in Keswick. Applethwaite, thank you.
Under Skiddaw, I think it's called actually.
Under Skiddaw is actually the name of the village because it is under Skiddaw. And it's a property called South Col, but as you can see, it's part of a country home. You see here. So it is actually a maisonette. It's like a wing in the country home, and it went on the market last week for 450,000. Now, we had been asked to market this home, and it was for the first time, so we hadn't taken it off another agent. But we were still, the lady of the home is a very stylish lady, isn't she? It's a very stylish property, and we need to try and reflect all that and the position of this beautiful property in the brochure. So we had a bit of a brainstorm in the office and got lots of paper and scissors and sellotape out. It's like an episode of Blue Peter. And we came up with this idea. Go on, I'll let you show. Which is to have this extra piece in here so we can show this beautiful photograph. And that gets away from the fact that it's only 210 millimetres square, and it gives it much more punch. And also it gives it a little bit, it's kind of like a little bit of a surprise as the buyer opens, I think, and goes, oh look, there's extra, there's more to look at, and it's a very tactile brochure. So it was a little bit of a challenge for the designer and the printer. What happened there?
Yeah, we had a few mishaps.
With the pictures, with the pages.
With a dog cut in half halfway through the brochure.
Yeah, we definitely don't want the dog cut in half. Where is the dog actually? There
Sasha.
it is. Sasha.
Not included, the owners.
Sasha not included.
Keen
to point out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It is absolutely a beautiful home. We've got some really, really lovely layouts there, and we thought that the grey just went perfectly with the style of the house, and some lovely photographs. The gentleman of the house is actually a photographer as well, so we were lucky enough to get some fantastic photographs that he had taken into the brochure too. And then, as usual, you'll see a nice big floor plan, which is colour-coded, and the back there. So I think that's really special, and I think it's we've got some nice square envelopes as well. And I think it will really appeal to somebody who's a little bit creative, maybe, buyer or seller. Anyway, there's another bit to the story, isn't there?
Is there?
Because the day we put it on the market, somebody phoned you, didn't they?
Yeah, well, we put it on, we rushed it on, not rushed it on, but
Got
just
as
about
quickly
got
as
it
we
on.
could.
It's about 5 o'clock on the Tuesday. We had a call Wednesday morning, the day of the floods. Nearly broke down on the way up to Keswick.
The Keswick to Windermere Road was not
just
great.
north of Grasmere. Don't buy a small car in the lakes. But then we sold it that day.
But then they came all the way over from York, so they literally jumped in their car and said, we want to see it now. And we're like, okay, we'll do that. We shuffled your diary around. You got in the car, went up there. You said, oh, it shouldn't be too long. How long were you there in the viewing?
Yeah, my wife had a midwife appointment. We had to cancel that. About 2.5 hours.
Yeah, because sometimes people need that extra time, don't they? And they wanted to, really kind of understand how it's going to work for them. And it's funny, isn't it? Because in this country, quite often we spend more time trying to choose a new car than we do a new house. Test driving and all the rest of it. You can't test drive a house, but spending a long time in a house gives you the reassurance that you're making the right choice. So the punchline is that these brochures came today after the offer's been accepted. Friday, but after the offer's been accepted, either way. So we can't, we've shown the lady of the house this brochure, and she's overwhelmed by it, and in a good way. And hopefully you are too. And, if we always have this as a backup, we have this to show other people what we can do, but we also have this, should anything happen to this house purchase, we need to be ready to push it again, back to market, and that's what these brochures are all about. Anything else you want to say about it? Can you just explain a little bit about the logo? I don't know if you can see it more clearly there.
Yeah, well, Southcott is, it's actually a description here so I don't make up any facts. It's the sharp edge pass between Mount Everest and, how on earth do you pronounce that? We have a client that would definitely know how to pronounce that. Lhotse? L-H-O-T-S-E.
Yeah, it could be Lhotse, yeah.
Which is the highest and the 4th highest mountain in the world, respectively.
Right. Oh, what, Everest and this one,
so
right.
when you attempt to climb Everest from the southeast ridge in Nepal, the final camp is on Southcott.
Right.
So the logo has the Everest.
Let's see if you can just get it nice and closer if you can see it, but there you go. Can you see the Everest thing? If you can't see it, and we'd love you to see it, go to our website, ashdownjones.co.uk, and have a look at it, and you can see this and all the other brochures we've got as well as PDFs. Although PDFs are lovely, and we're very happy to send anybody a PDF, we like actual brochures, don't we? Why do we like brochures?
Don't put them in the spot with questions.
I like because it just feels so tactile, and when you're looking at a really expensive house, you want to be able to connect with the house through a physical medium, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when people go away from the viewing, all they've got is this. If you've only got something on a screen, it's just not going to show it to its best advantage.
Yeah, it's easy to go away and think about the negative things about the house. And if you have something to hold and to show people, it kind of keeps your love of the property.
Yeah, and because it's focusing on all the positives without being misleading, then you've got basically all its beautiful attributes wrapped up in a beautiful brochure. And if you think about it, what about when you're buying a car?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're buying a Mercedes, you get shown a beautiful brochure.
Yep.
If you go into a gorgeous hotel, you might have a lovely brochure to look at. So I don't know why the property industry doesn't use more brochures. We're quite glad they don't, because then we stand out. So that's all we wanted to say. You can lock that off now, Phil, if you want. If you'd like to see one of these brochures and also have a chat about how we could produce one of these brochures for you, and if not, if you'd rather go for a different kind of style or size like these were all made in collaboration with our fantastic clients, and we hope to be able to do the same for you as well one day. So that's it. We'll sign off. Thanks very much indeed for watching, and see you on the next one. Bye for now.